Well, this little turbo car here, we got the I put this back together because we're helping a friend work on his car, but got some of it apart, got the air box out. This guy is gonna get I just have it sitting here because I had to push it, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and drain the air conditioner, pull this off, set it aside. This is gonna take a little bit longer than I thought. It's not gonna be a weekend project. I'll show you why. Oil feed, pretty cool. Show you why. I got a little crazy. Decided we're gonna go for about 450 horsepower on that thing. Oh, we know we got to replace rods because it's got rod knock, so we're gonna go ahead and do with some aftermarket rods. But this came in the mail. I already cracked it open, but I didn't like looking at it really close. This is going to be the base of our build, I reckon. We'll see. BT3582R. It should be 450 to 600 horse, oil and water cooled, or oil. And supposed to be billet wheel, dual ball bearing. Yeah, tight. I like it. So there you go. That's where we're going with that guy. It should only take a couple weekends. We'll see. Of work, a lot of waiting in between because we're going to do rods. So we're going to have to pull the motor apart and probably have the crank polished if it's good enough. If it's worst case scenario, we'll have a best case scenario, we'll have it polished. I'm going to go ahead and balance the rotating assembly, and I still will do a fluid dampener up front. They're saying that that helps out a lot. Although all the forums I'm reading, we'll pin the crankshaft, put 1000cc injectors in, and do full no cat because we don't have emissions up here anymore in Washington. Do a full exhaust. That should put us somewhere where we want to be. I'm going to use the stock intake. And a cast iron log style manifold. I've seen some, they're pretty inexpensive, that the turbo sits right here and the wastegate is underneath it. Got a pretty good bit of turbo sits right here. I mean, just as a comparison, there's the inlet for that guy. It's, you know, not even an inch and a quarter across, so yeah. They also say you should swap out the valves. I'll look at the head, talk to my buddy Joe, see if he has time to mess with the head. If so, I'll order some exhaust, some springs, retainers, and seats, and exhaust and valves, and ask him to go through it. But we'll see how much time he has, how much time we got to work on it. But yeah, I'm going to retain everything, air conditioning and all that. I did see some really cool parts for breather and stuff for blow by. We might do that as it comes along, as it goes, as the build progresses, you know, after we get it running and driving. Do some mods like that, but we'll see. For right now, we're just going to put the big turbo on and do the best we can to get her up and running again. All right, well, I power washed it, got it all cleaned up. She's out. I took the engine transmission out together. Normal stuff, it's no big deal. I'm just like, I took the air conditioner off, I drained it and took it off because it's easier to get to the starter bolt that's behind it for the starter wire. All the other wires were pretty easy to get to, and these are all the bolts that I had to take off, so it's not much to get the motor out. Separated the front, I set it over here. So I'll just I'll clean this guy up. I forgot to power wash it, but I'll clean it up and get it ready. Not too much needs to be done there. It's just out of the way for right now. Power wash the engine bay. It was already power washed. but with the motor out, I was able to get the cross member really clean, and you know, all down around and stuff. So worked out good. Anyway, pushed it over here out of the way, and next thing I'm gonna do is I think get the turbo off and see if I can separate the transmission. We're gonna do a Clutch Masters FX 400 clutch, I think. Excuse me. Yeah, Clutch Masters FX 400, and then that big old turbo that you saw will sit over here on a cast iron log type manifold. I'm not gonna do tubular stuff. This has got water and oil, so we'll be able to hook them both up to the our turbo. Anyway, that's what we got so far. Just I had to pull the axles out. That's the only thing that got in the way. When I started pulling forward, the axles actually caught on stuff, so I pulled them out. They actually came out easy. Yeah, pretty straightforward. All right, this is a vacuum. No, let's see here. Water. This is water. This is water. This is oil. Supplies. This is oil return and water return. Okay. All right. Here's where that bracket goes, supporting front. One on the other side. I already took off the support. It was turbo support that was from right here down to here. No, down to here, sorry. I took that off so I can get to the alternator. Sorry. Air compressor, air conditioner. This turbo is done. I think it's actually hitting the sides a little bit. You see some in there. You can see some discoloration. He was barely hitting the sides. She was done. Anyway. Okay, let's start getting this thing apart. Alright, just below the starter, opposite side of the motor from the starter, along the bottom. Short. Hey, thanks for tuning in to this week's installment of the B5 A4 Audi build. Tune in next week for the next installment. Hope you enjoy this series and have a great time working on your cars.